Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for January 13th. We're currently looking at the US-Japanese yen pair. This pair closed higher, did form an inside bar, so definitely look for a breakout. We are looking for this pair to continue moving sideways, though, with a bias to the downside. If we do move higher, look for it to go as high as 92.04, possibly as low as 90.34. Look for some resistance around 91.75 and look for some support around 90.75. Okay, now looking at the Euro-USD pair, this particular pair closed higher today. It did break previous resistance, but pulled back into the range before closing. We are looking for this pair to continue moving to the upside. Definitely has an upside bias. Look for it to potentially go as high as 14648 and possibly as low as 14389. Look for some resistance around 145.55 and look for some support around 144.50. Okay, now looking at the pound US dollar pair, this particular pair closed higher today. It is starting to move higher and has a bias to the upside. Look for it to potentially go as high as 163.95, possibly as low as 160.43. Look for some resistance around 163.00 and look for some support around 161.93. Now the US Swiss, this particular pair closed down today, just barely. It did have a pretty decent range before closing. It is moving sideways with the bias to the downside. If we do get a pullback, look for it to move as high as 1.0271, possibly as low as 1.0084. Look for some resistance around 1.0239 and look for some support around 1.0125. Okay, we do have some news announcements for tomorrow. We have the Euro releasing their central bank decision. It was inaccurate yesterday. It'll be released at 7:45 tomorrow. Consensus is they're going to hold at 1%. We also have the U.S. releasing their advanced retail sales for December at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Consensus on that one is that things have diminished a little bit from 1.3% to 0.4%, which would be negative news for the U.S. dollar. So look for the euro and the pound to rally and the U.S. Swiss and the U.S. Japanese to rally as well. Now, this particular, move down. The U.S. Swiss and the U.S. Japanese yen should move down, and the others should move higher. Now, let's take a look at what I'm looking for during this next session. We do have the U.S. Japanese yen pair. Let me back out a little bit. It did form an inside bar today, so we are looking for it to break out, look to the downside. I do anticipate getting a drop in this pair. If you take a look at the low here, the next area really of any area of support that we have is in this area right there. So at that point, you could look to grab several pips. You know, somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 pips is what I'd look for this particular trade. Now, when we're looking at the U.S. Swiss, this particular pair, we haven't gotten a break of this low, so we could definitely see a break of that low coming down to this area. And just to show you what that looks like, we should be able to pull roughly, if we get a break, roughly about 50 pips out of that move. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for today. Until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.